Hello. So today we are going to be doing a modeling activity where I'm going to be modeling the critical thinking process for you all via a think aloud, where I'm going to be basically voicing my thoughts as I solve this problem, like I would expect you guys solve this problem. So you'll hear a lot of the way that I'm thinking and the way that I'm going about solving this problem so that I can effectively model it for you all. So during this time, you may either follow along and just absorb, and you can choose to just sit and watch me. If you feel like it would be easier for you to focus and to take in the information, you may also take out your whiteboards and markers and then take a moment and write down your own balance beam with 10 on one side, and you can practice writing out each of the answers with me so that you can help better absorb the information. It is entirely your choice what you choose to do. I want you to choose whatever you think is going to help you focus, not what's easiest. I want you to think a moment and think about what would help you understand it best. So let's go on with the think aloud. So I'm going to pretend that I'm a first grader like you guys, and I'm seeing this for the first time. Miss Gamble has asked me to think of 3 number equations to keep this beam balanced. So what do we know about a balance beam? That to keep it level, it has to be what on both sides? If you think about a seesaw, one side is big if it is tilting. So let's say that we imagine that there's one big person on one end and then someone teeny tiny on the other end. The big person's going to weigh it down. The small person's going to fly up like a cartoon. So in order to keep it level, what we want is the same on both sides. So I'm going to put an equals 10 right here because it helps me to visualize things and to see it, because now I know I have that reminder that whatever I put over here should be equal to 10. It's going to be 10 in terms of different numbers. So I'm going to start off, and I'm seeing a lot of 10. I'm seeing 10 on this side, 10 on this side. So my instinct is going to be start with 10. I'm going to put 10 to think of my number sentence. I'm going to put 10, and then I feel stuck. I don't know where to go from here. I'm not sure what to do, but I am assuming that because I've been given this problem, I have the toolkit to solve it. Would you say that's a pretty fair assumption, right? That you're giving this problem because you have what you need to solve it. Otherwise, it would be a lesson and you wouldn't be solving the problem. So now I'm going to think to myself, what is my toolkit? What are the things that I know how to do? I know how to write 2 types of equations, either addition equations or subtraction. So I'm going to put that in the corner because it helps me to see it. So I'm going to write it down. I'm thinking, okay, I've got 2 options, addition or subtraction. I'm just going to go with one. I'm going to say plus first and think to myself, 10 plus something, give me 10. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, I can't do 1 because that would be 11. Can't do 2 because that would be 12. And I'm feeling stuck. I've got something that seems like it could work, but the answer is not coming to me. But I know I have another option. I can also do a subtraction number sentence. So I'm going to skip that option. I'm going to come down and I'm going to say, okay, I don't seem to be getting anywhere with that. It doesn't mean that the answer is not there, that it doesn't exist. But for the time being, I'm not seeing the answer that way. So now I'm going to try a number sentence. And I want to try and think of 3, where I subtract a number from 10 and get 10. Because I still am starting with 10. Seems right to me. I still can't think of anything. 10 minus something to give me 10. What could it be? So now I still feel stuck. I'm not getting anywhere. So I'm thinking to myself, well, what was the strategy that I've been using? I've been starting with what? I've been starting with 10. So if I'm feeling stuck with a certain strategy, I'm going to change it. So maybe now my strategy is to start with a number that's not 10. I could go bigger or I could go smaller. My strategy is going to be to go smaller because it seems like that would be most easy for me to get to 10 if I start below. So I'm going to start at 5. 5. If I take away from 5, I don't think I could get to 10. But if I add on, because it's smaller, I think I could get to 10. So 5 plus something equals 10. And now that's ringing a bell. Now I'm thinking, 5 plus something equals 10. And maybe it comes to me right away, and maybe it doesn't. So my strategy to make sure that I'm right, maybe I'm thinking 5 plus 5 is 10, but I want to make sure. We can do our counting on strategy, and I'm just going to count using my fingers. That's it. I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we've got 5 plus 5 equals 10, and that is our first number sentence. We're going to do 5 plus 5 equals 10. We've got 5 plus 5. And now I've got a strategy that's working for me. Now something's clicking. So now I'm going to do 5. Not 5. See, I was thinking starting with 5 again because that's what worked for me the first time. But adding on other numbers to 5, it's going to give me the same number sentence. 5 plus 5 all over again. So how can I use that same strategy but think of a new solution? So before, I'm thinking that I chose to do a number less than 10. So maybe I'll do another number less than 10. 6 is still less than 10. So maybe I'm going to start with 6. 6 plus something equals 10. And like before, I'm going to count on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We counted on 4. So I know 6 plus 4 equals 10. 6 plus 4 equals 10. So we now have our second number sentence. And we want to think of at least 3, but as many as possible with the time that we have. So now I'm going to try and think of one more, but I'm feeling kind of stuck. We did 5, we did 6. I kind of forgot what I was going, what was the pattern that I was going in. So my strategy is going to be to look back. I did 5 plus 5, 6 plus 4. My starting number went up 1. So I guess I'll keep that pattern going, right? So then I'm going to do a 7 plus something equals 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 plus 3 equals 10. So now we have 7 plus 3 equals 10. And then at this moment, something's clicking for me that I forgot a possibility up top. That there was a way that I could have done 10 as my starting number for both subtraction sentences, but I didn't see it at first until I kept going with the problem. So now I'm glad that I left those written there, and I'm glad that I didn't completely abandon that possibility because I realized that I can use a 0. 10 plus 0 equals 10. 10 minus 0 equals 10. Now I've even gone above the 3 number sentences. Now I've got 10 plus 0. Now I have 5 different options. 10 minus 0. Oop, and I accidentally put a 10 instead of a 0, so I'm just going to scribble that out and keep going. And looking back at it, I ended up with 5 solutions. And I could have also had many more solutions. I could have done 8 plus 2. There's so many ways that I could have solved this problem, but I followed my natural thought process. And the important thing to remember is that what it took is starting off with mistakes, starting off unsure, and using my own thought processes and my toolkits that I already have to get there, to solve those problems and to move past confusion. The important thing that we learned is to use our mistakes productively and to use our confusion productively.